Good evening, folks, and welcome to the 5th episode of the Rahul Nair Finance Show. You're listening to the Daily Dealroom, from startups to stock markets, where we decode the business buzz of the day, crisp, clear, and to the point.
Today is 11th July 2025. Before we begin, here's a quick disclaimer. This podcast is for educational purposes only. It is not a buy or sell recommendation. Always consult a financial advisor before making investment decisions.
Let's start with our first segment, the market wrap, closing bell. Both Sensex and Nifty ended in the red, reacting to weak earnings and fresh global tensions. The Nifty 50 dropped 0.81% to close at 25,149, and Sensex slid 0.82% to settle at 82,500. Bank Nifty also edged lower by 0.35%, while broader markets felt more pain. Nifty Midcap fell 0.88%. Nifty Small Cap dropped 1.02%. What triggered the sell-off? Two main reasons. First, TCS posted weak results, and when a heavyweight like TCS fumbles, the entire street listens. Second, Donald Trump hit back with new tariffs on Canadian imports, reviving global trade tensions. On the sectoral front, there were a few bright spots. Nifty Pharma gained 0.68%. Nifty FMCG rose 0.51%. But the losers list was longer. Nifty Capital Markets down 2.03%. Nifty India Defense fell 1.94%.
Let's start with our second segment, Company News and Earnings Spotlight. Let's talk about the biggest headline in the corporate world, State Bank of India. SBI is planning a 25,000 crore share sale via QIP, which could be India's largest ever QIP, surpassing even Coal India's record from 2015. The timing? As early as next week. If successful, this will bolster SBI's balance sheet and support loan growth. A strong signal for the public sector banking space. Let's continue with our second segment, Company News and Earnings Spotlight. Let's talk about the biggest headline in the corporate world, State Bank of India. SBI is planning a 25,000 crore share sale via QIP, which could be India's largest ever QIP, surpassing even Coal India's record from 2015. The timing? As early as next week. If successful, this will bolster SBI's balance sheet and support loan growth. A strong signal for the public sector banking space.
Let's continue with our third segment, Gold, Currency, and Global Buzz. Here's a quick look at global indicators and commodities. Gold traded at 97,487 INR, stood at 85.72 per US dollar. And yes, Donald Trump's 35% tariff on Canadian imports sent shockwaves globally. Meanwhile, Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang is having a dream run. His net worth jumped $27.6 billion in 2024 alone, thanks to the AI-driven surge in Nvidia's stock. Also in the news, India and the US are fast-tracking a trade deal by September-October. An interim pact could land soon, according to India's chief negotiator. And here's one for the crypto fans. Bitcoin hit an all-time high of $112,000 on July 10th, rising over 39% in 3 months, largely on speculation around US policy shifts.
Let's continue with our fourth segment, IPO Radar. The IPO market continues to buzz. SmartWorks, a co-working space firm, saw 50% subscription on day one of its IPO, led by non-institutional investors. Also, Agcon Equipments International filed draft papers for a 332 crore IPO. It's a mix of fresh issue and OFS. The company rents infrastructure equipment across India and posted solid FY25 numbers. Revenue up 20% to 164 crore. Profit up 35% to 30.7 crore. Motilal Oswal is leading the issue. With the infrastructure sector booming, AgCon is riding the wave.
Let's continue with our fifth segment, Business Deep Dive, ICICI Prudential AMC IPO. Next up, a big one in the asset management space. ICICI Prudential AMC is planning a 10,000 crore IPO, and they've roped in a record 18 merchant bankers, the most ever for a domestic listing. But here's the catch. It's a pure offer for sale. No fresh capital is being raised. Prudential plc, the UK-based partner, plans to offload 10% of its stake. This IPO pegs ICICI Prudential AMC's valuation at 1 lakh crore, or $12 billion, making it one of the largest AMCs in India by AUM. Key takeaway, this IPO isn't about expansion. It's about foreign investor exit and portfolio rebalancing.
Let's continue with our sixth segment, Private Market Pulse. Flipkart Ventures has launched the fourth edition of its accelerator, Flipkart Leap Ahead, supporting founders from 0 to 1. Meanwhile, Swiss PE giant Partners Group is acquiring a majority stake in Infinity Fincorp Solutions, an NBFC focused on MSMEs, with a 1.950 crore rupee $230 million investment. Also in the mix, Ferrero is buying WK Kellogg Co. in an all-cash $3.1 billion deal. The iconic cereal brands like Special K and Fruit Loops will now join the Ferrero family alongside Nutella and Ferrero Rocher.
Let's continue with our seventh segment, Industry Insights and Regulatory Buzz. In regulatory news, SEBI has proposed allowing credit rating agencies, CRAs, to rate unlisted securities even in areas without explicit guidelines. CRAs must create ring-fenced units for this within 6 months and disclose unregulated activities clearly. AIFs have also petitioned the RBI to raise the investment cap for regulated entities in a single fund from 10% to 25%. This could enable more flow into infra and stressed asset funds. Let's talk consumption. Quick commerce spending doubled to 64,000 crore ABA in FY25 and may triple to 2 lakh crore ABA by FY28. A clear sign that Indians are spending more on convenience. Also interesting, public sector banks and NBFCs are now gaining market share in home loans, credit cards, and personal loans, outpacing private banks. A shift few expected even a year ago.
Let's continue with our eighth segment, Fundraise Highlights. Wrapping up with funding rounds, Infinity Fincorp raised from Partners Group and Jungle Ventures. A home services startup secured seed funding led by Inflection Point Ventures. And Arteria Technologies, a B2B SaaS and embedded finance startup, raised 100 crore rupees in Series B from ICICI Venture. These deals reflect confidence in fintech, SaaS, and MSME-focused segments, all core drivers of the next economic cycle. That naps up today's episode of the Rahul Nair Finance Show, brought to you under our daily series, The Daily Dealroom, from startups to stock markets. If you liked this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends, colleagues, or anyone who's into business and investing.
We'll catch you next week with more market and business insights. Until then, stay curious, stay invested. Happy weekend.